We are back in the drafting streets, BALLiN live on a Friday afternoon for $3 million. Is Justin Jefferson the $3 million man? We'll find out.
Go district, you know the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text? That trash offers the best? You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice, from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man, y'all know what to do. It's the... And I always be traded. And I always be traded. And I always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Fish.
What is up, Fantasyland? We're starting this thing off with air horns. It's Friday afternoon. Dan, the overhyped sleeper, is with me. We're drafting for $3 million. I'm JD at JD Goat District. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Smash the like. We're fresh off of Dan yesterday, the Owner's Lounge. We talked about some rookie drafts. So if you guys are into Dynasty, rookies, trades, all of that fun we talked about yesterday with regards to some high stakes leagues that Dan and I co-own. Wednesday, we were on the Player Profiler Network with Austin Martin, high stakes, Dynasty, and drafting elite. Dan, how pumped are you for this Friday? And it's kind of work. I know I've got you working. You're retired, yeah, but it's not bad for work, right?
It's all good. And yeah, we gotta work on getting this up here, but we are starting in 40 seconds, and we have the 102.
All right, let's do it. So we might actually get JJ. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's possible. But let's just assume that we're not getting JJ. Who do you want then?
You're gonna hate my answer.
No, not necessarily. Who do you want?
I wouldn't mind smashing CMC.
Okay, I'm good with that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't care. Him, Chase, either one.
Yeah,
good.
The one thing I'm finding, and we'll talk about this as we go through it, for those that are just kind of tuning in, maybe not already on the Underdog site, make sure you're on there. I'm going to drop a link after the show, but right now, if you go on, you could use the code GOAT, and it'll get you $50. Sorry, up to $100 match. I apologize. Wow, been a while since
we're gonna go CMC.
Do CMC. Started off at the 102. So this is the BBM Best Ball Mania 4. $15 million in prizes, $3 million to first. This is one Pat won, right, Dan Crane?
Yes, that is correct.
He won the double mill. He's getting. Yeah. It's not bad. It's not bad for a little best ball game. $25 entries, 677,000 max entries into the tournament. And it is 1 QB, non-premium. Is it 3 receivers, Dan, or is it 2? I forget. I'm in too many platforms right now.
It is 3 receivers, 1 flex, 2 running back, 1 tight end, 1 quarterback.
And wow, it must be a Friday afternoon. I even got the promo code. You see it on the screen, guys. It's District on Underdog. So use the code District. They'll match up to $100 of your first deposit. You got it on the screen. The draft board is live. What's up, Toronto Dave, Famous Jay? Thanks for hanging out with us on a Friday.
Hang on, there is one thing I gotta fix.
You going dark mode or what?
Yeah, if it'll let me. I might have to. I don't know why it didn't go to dark mode to start with. Hang on, we're gonna take that off.
If you're just tuning in, we pulled the 102. For those who are listening, to the podcast, make sure you tune into either YouTube or you can download on Spotify and watch it on there as well. But we'll have the draft board up while we're drafting. Dan and I are tag teaming this thing. Again, $25 entry, $3 million to first. We pulled the 102. We went CMC. JJ went first, I would imagine, Dan?
Yes, that is correct. JJ first, McCaffrey second, Jamar Chase third, Tyreek Hill, Cooper Kupp, Travis Kelce, Stephon Diggs, Bijan at 8, CeeDee Lamb, AJ Brown, Austin Eckler, Jonathan Taylor finished off the 12th round, and that is Famous Jay in the chat is at pick 12 here. So he wrapped around with Jonathan Taylor and Devontae Adams. And coming back in the second round, we have Saquon Barkley and Amon-Ra St. Brown after that.
Nice. So Famous Jay made it in. He's in the chat with us watching live. So if you guys ever catch us on one of these and you want to join, just talk to us in the chat and we'll try to time it with you like we do to Famous Jay. And he got the 12 spot. So good start for him. Coming back in the middle of the second here, you've got couple of quarterbacks actually. Jalen Hurts goes off the board, tagged with paired with CeeDee Lamb, and then Josh Allen with the stack with Diggs there.
Yep. And I wouldn't be surprised to see we've got Kelce, so I would guess we're probably going to get him Mahomes here. Nope, he's going Waddle, so he's not going to try to stack Mahomes and Kelce. We do have a Diggs Allen stack going though. I have 3 guys in our queue. Well, not 2 now. Anybody else you like, JD, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's we're in the early stages. The first 3 guys in the availables are good with me. If honestly, either one of those, if you want to double tap on the RB, we can do that and then smash receiver. Or if you want to sneak,
I love it. We're doing it.
All right, awesome. I mean, Tony Pollard he's just ripe for a monster year this year. People were worried about Dallas in the draft, and I mean, Deuce is about weighs less than a deuce. So I don't know. I'm not too worried about him. Maybe he's got some situational role in the offense, but I love starting with CMC and Tony Pollard, 2 solid running backs, and then like I said, then we can kind of smash everywhere else for a bit.
Yep. Do you see how I'm what I have in the queue now? Are you mad at that?
No, but keep telling me because I got to refresh every once in a while. You want to go again?
All right, we're up. Man, we could go total bully at running back here.
I don't mind it. Do you have a preference between those 2? I don't have. I have a lot of the first guy, not a lot of the second.
All right, then let's take the second guy. That's fine with me.
So we're going Josh Jacobs. We're actually going to triple tap the RB. I know everybody's loving the early receivers, late round 0 RB styles, but we're smashing RB early here in the second spot. We grab CMC, Tony Pollard, and come back with JJ, the other JJ, Josh Jacobs. We couldn't get the first one, so we had to get the other one in the third round here. So the nice thing with that, Dan, I don't know if you do this, but I'm comparing my team to everyone else in the room just because you got to get past this room first. And if you look at everyone else running back wise compared to us so far, we've got one team that is close and they've got Eckler and Barkley. So let's see what they do on this turn.
Yep, absolutely. And the thing is, I mean, this gives us a lot of freedom to not worry about running back, for a while, if that's the way we choose to go. And we can have a running back in the flex, which is not a bad way to go at all.
No, not at all. We had, trying to think which one of our guests came on and we talked about that exact thing.
Yeah, Sam.
That's right.
Yeah, Sam Sherman.
That's right. Just talking about how people just assume that in PPR the receiver is most likely ending up in your flex, and that's not always the case based on his research.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so Famous Jay is up here. He started off, as you may recall, with Jonathan Taylor and Devontae Adams. He's adding Amari Cooper into the fold, like that. So
at what point now, with this tournament, you hear about the importance of the Week 17. At what point do you start paying attention to that, Dan? in a draft?
I mean, you got to get my first few picks, unless there's an obvious stacking opportunity. I'm just looking to get the best players that I possibly can,
Okay.
and then start to work off of that.
So what I like to do, just because I still don't have it by heart yet, is I start writing teams that I have, and then the week 17 game on my little sticky notes, just so I have it.
Good. Yeah, that will help.
Just makes it easy when you're looking down the available players. You can look at the teams real quick, and then break ties, however way you want to do it.
Yep. Totally agree.
So we're 4 rounds in, about halfway through the 4th right now. Dan and I are coming up on the clock. Started with 3 running backs. Let me refresh. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, so I think I can pretty much guess what. I can pretty much guess. Yeah, that was going to be a Joe Burrow pick there.
What about this guy? No.
We can. Do you see who I have up in the
Yeah, yeah, I do.
Anybody else you would add to that?
Um,
Or I just put one more in.
yeah, I mean, if you don't want to go W, then take the top guy.
Which one do you want? Oh, looks like we
Yeah,
just
it's all
did.
good. That's the guy I was saying.
Okay.
So we went TJ Hawk, again, going against the grain here in a 3 receiver start. We've got 3 running backs and a tight end. We grabbed TJ Hawk at the end of the 4th.
Right. And I think if we would like, now we can go receiver here, or we can take that quarterback.
I like McLaurin. I mean, they're playing Washington week 17. We've got CMC.
Okay. I like that.
The BNME, boost.
Yep.
So far, CMC, Pollard, Jacobs, F1, Terry McLaurin, and TJ Hawk in the tight end spot. And that's after 5 from the 2 spot in this Underdog $3 million draft. Famous Jay saying he's got a printout of the 15 to 17 schedule. That's smart. Somebody has actually sent us.
I don't know what you're talking about, famous.
Yeah,
Jay.
there it is. I'm sure Dan's got it. Dan's like Mr. Spreadsheet. Yeah, I'm old school, man. I've got it on my screen, write it down.
Well, I like that you're writing down who the correlations are going to be. So it just
makes
good.
it easier.
That's a step past what I have.
Dan, we just complete each other. What can we say?
We do.
So end of the 6th now.
Yep.
So Aaron Jones, Dalvin Cook. That's crazy, eh? Those 2 going end of the 6th. Not even a super flex. That's some nice value at running back still.
Right. Yeah, and there's still, plenty of good running backs on the board too. So
Yeah.
and Joe Mixon also went just before those 2.
Yeah, he's great value. I grabbed him recently in something. I'm trying to think. I think it was like a Drafters or something like that, or an FFPC. So we're at the end of the 6th now. Is that the 6th or the 5th? I'm using your.
That is the end of the 5th there.
That's end of the 5th. Wow, apologies. Yep. Yeah.
Famous Jay went Kyle Pitts, and let's see who else he grabs here.
The tension is building. Guys, use the code district if you're not on Underdog yet. Get yourself up to $100 free in your face match on your first deposit. Deshaun Watson to stack with the Amari Cooper. I like that, famous Jay. It's an offense that's fun to stack this year. Just, if you're a believer that going into the 2nd year after all the chaos in his life at quarterback with Watson, you got to think that this offense takes a step forward, whether you like the guy or not. So yep. JSN goes off. Addison actually went ahead of him, and same 11 spot actually came back to back with the rookie receivers. So we see Bijan, Dan, go off 2, 4, 6, 8 at 108. We talked about this with Austin. He's going after Hill in this one, but still, you know, you're in drafts and you've got Bijan there. You're like, do I want to be the cool guy in the room, or do I go with the tried, true, and tested? And I think you lean more on the tried, true, and tested for those who have to make that decision this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting to see JSN going off before one of the other receivers in the draft that plays for the same team.
Yes, I know what you're saying, and I wouldn't mind going there. Yeah, I see you got it.
All right, so
there it is. Take him.
All right.
Beauty.
As we all know, one of my favorite players.
Lock it, man. And Dan, the best part is he just keeps getting cheaper and cheaper.
Right. And I'm going to say, if it comes back around, we take the top player in our queue and then hope the next player in our queue comes back to us on the next turn. It'll probably be close.
What's the reasoning for the first guy?
Just value.
Okay. I'll be messing with my my week 17s, Dan.
Yeah, so he's still there. This is definitely a value pick. Trevor Lawrence at the 74th pick in the draft usually goes around pick 60 or so. So that's a solid over a round in value, which we're just going to jump on.
And that's the thing, whether you're looking at week 17, looking at divisions or stacks, when value falls like that, you can't ignore it. You got to take it.
Yep. Totally agree. All right. And
maybe if you can get the draft board scrolled up a bit.
Scrolled up.
Get the intern to scroll that thing up. So we are in the 7th round towards the back end now. Dan and I were drafting in the 2 spot. We've got Trevor Lawrence as our quarterback. We've got 3 running backs that we smashed in the first 3 picks: CMC, Pollard, and Jacobs. Terry McLaurin and Tyler Lockett at receiver, and TJ Hawk right now at tight end. So pretty solid at every position.
Yep.
Really
feel good about that for sure.
Yeah. Scroll it up a bit, Dan. It's
Yep.
There you go. You can even maybe leave a couple. Yeah, just because I think sometimes or actually no, that's not right at the bottom, so it's not so bad. Sometimes if it's right at the bottom, the TVs cut it out.
Right.
So we got 7 rounds done. Anything like crazy stand out? It's pretty standard so far. I'm not seeing any, crazy like builds or anything yet. Do you?
Mike Ray has really been hammering the wide receivers after getting the first 2 running backs. So like what he's doing there. He's put together Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton. So feel like there's probably going to be a Russ Wilson pick coming at quarterback there. And he's got a couple rookie receivers too, Jordan Addison and JSN. Makes for some interesting theater there as well. All right.
So middle of the 8th, I think just based on our build right now, it's pretty obvious where we can focus our attention. Mm-hmm. Which actually in these ranges, there's actually some nice value. Yep. I find. Just looking at the list here. Go ahead and
throw some guys in that you like.
For sure, this guy. I don't even mind this guy. All right, I went down a little low there, but just to put some guys in there. You can take out anyone you don't like.
Nope, I like that. And I
Well,
think we can take whichever one of those receivers you would like.
Makes it back.
And then, so who do you?
Oh, we're
'cause
up right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're up right now.
I would just take the first one, man, because I just
First receiver.
yeah.
Okay.
Head case or not, he's one of those like late round receiver guys that I like. Like if you wait on receiver,
Yep.
Derek Carr has a little crush on him when he gets to, you know, they start the season or they get in camp or whatever it is. That could be magic. That could be a huge pickup in round, what, 8 now?
Yeah.
8 or, yeah.
Yep. And then, assuming he makes it back, I think we want to go with the very top guy in our queue. That will help us with a stack and also a correlation.
Yep,
All
do
right.
it. Perfect. Yeah, so Dak Prescott, our QB2 with Trevor Lawrence. We stack him with Tony Pollard. Now we don't have to worry about quarterback.
Right. And there we go. Scrolling up.
So 9th round now. I wish they'd show like how many of each position. You know, I like seeing that. How many of each position is taken, like on some of the other platforms. So Daniel Jones goes off the board after Prescott. This is kind of the double tap on quarterback range here. You could see guys that are taking 2 back-to-back or around apart. Charbonnet goes off. We talked extensively about Charbonnet in the Seattle backfield on Wednesday with Austin Martin, so on the Player Profiler Network. So if you missed that, go check that out. A lot of good ones in there, writer downers, as I like to call them, as one of the best drafters in the high stakes land.
Yep.
Trevor's asking you about your schedule, your drafting schedule with retired life. It must be nice though, eh, Dan?
Yeah, it's not bad because it's a lot easier to fit things in because I'm not, most of what I'm doing I can schedule around, drafting or podcasts or whatever, which is fantastic. But man, I'm way busier than I ever thought I'd be.
Right.
Retired. I mean, there's just so much you want to do, and so it's fun to get out there and do it.
Time is always the biggest challenge, right?
Absolutely. Yep. You will never find yourself trying to find things to fill the time, or at least I don't. There's always more that I want to do than I can get done.
Yeah. I always tell my daughter if she's bored, I go, if you're bored, it's because you're boring. It's the only,
That's exactly it.
There's no reason to be bored these days. There's way too many things to do and learn. And all right, so we're starting the 10th round right now, double digits. Dan and I have got 2 quarterbacks, 3 running backs, 3 receivers, and a tight end. So pretty balanced roster. We started aggressive on the running backs. Hit a tight end pretty early in TJ Hawk. We've got our 2 quarterbacks. We kind of got in the mid ranges there, and we sprinkled in some receivers, but some pretty solid, like McLaurin and Lockett, solid week to week guys. And Michael Thomas, like we said when we picked him up, could he's a high risk, but he could also pay off really nicely.
Yep. Famous Jay came around that turn with Njoku and Juju.
Yeah, I knew he'd grab Njoku. If
Yep.
we didn't have TJ Hawk, I would have sniped you there, buddy. But love Njoku. I remember when that guy first came out, man. Just the potential you saw in him, and it didn't click right off the bat. So it was like so frustrating. But now you started seeing it last year. So if he could really break out this year, he could actually finish top 5 easily.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And
So it's coming up to us again here.
Yep, I put a few guys in the queue.
Yeah, I definitely like 2.
I knew you would.
I was drafting one a lot, and I heard somebody say something, and it kind of didn't turn me off, but it got me to.
I think we do.
I mean, I don't hate him for this build.
Yeah. Which one
That's-
do you want? Do you want to do one or two?
I think one for this build might be better right now, as much as I'm.
Yeah. Yep. So that gives us. Then we've got him and Jacob, so we got a little bit of a Vegas stack going.
Yeah, like I'm trying to grab. Tell me if this makes sense, Dan, but it's kind of like you're trying to grab those last wide receiver ones when it starts hitting the wide receiver twos. Now it's like I'm trying to grab the last wide receiver two on their team in like the wide receiver 3 range, you know?
Right.
You should be anyways. You should be the second receiver in that offense. We're talking about apologies to those listening. Jacoby Myers we picked up for the Vegas stack. We have Jacobs and Myers now, and he's our receiver 4. So
okay, I think it's time to grab another running back.
That first guy is going to be on every one of our rosters. Just do it. Why not? We got Gibby everywhere. I got so much Gibby, man. I can't. He's so late, and he's like, there's so much potential in that offense. We already have McLaurin.
Yeah, and it stacks up with the Dallas offense,
Yes,
as well. So, yeah, a lot of reasons to go that way.
Well, not for 17. 17 Dallas is Detroit.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's fine though. We have McLaurin.
For some reason, I had in my head it was Washington.
Yeah, but they
Dallas.
they stack up with CMC.
That's week 18.
The Niners.
Yep.
It's perfect. They both stack up with our first pick, so I like that.
Yep, that does work out nicely.
So 11th round, we've got our 4th running back in Gibby. We've got 4 receivers. We just took Jacoby Myers, who's been like one of those, outperforms his ADP the last couple of years, I'd say, in that New England offense, just with no other options, not too many other options to target. So going to Vegas with Jimmy G, I mean, I kind of feel the same, right, Dan? You expect kind of the same from him? Or do you think he can actually take it to another level out there in the new environment?
I'm sorry, I was looking at receivers. What was the question again?
For Myers, do you feel like he's going to give you similar production now that he's in Vegas, or kind of you think?
I think so. I mean, he's basically they don't have. Well, they've got Adams, they've got Hunter Renfrow, and they've got Jacoby Myers at wide receiver, and not much after that. And then they've got a couple of they've got Hooper and Michael Myers at tight end. So I think there's going to be a decent amount of production there for him.
Yeah, it's not like they're going to be necessarily leading games, and they're going to be they're going to be chucking the ball, in my opinion, a lot. So especially in that division.
Yeah, for sure.
So on the turn again, you've got famous Jay grabbing Derek Carr and Kendre Miller. I like that stack. Kendre Miller has that receiving aspect to his game. One of my favorite rookie running backs in this class.
Absolutely.
So guys, smash the like, smash the subscribe if you're listening. That really helps us out. Just get the content out there. We're trying to bring you guys as much content as you can. We slowed down a bit the last couple of weeks on this channel. Just life gets in the way, and it's nice to take a little break every once in a while. But you can always for sure find us Player Profiler on Wednesday nights, 9 Eastern, and we'll be dropping on the regular at least 2 or 3 on this channel moving forward this off season.
All right, threw a couple guys into the queue.
Actually, we have some pretty stacked guests lined up for you guys.
Yeah,
now that I think about it.
Fun.
Yeah. So we're 4 away now, Dan. 12th round. Let me do the old refresh. The first guy I like a lot. He's one of my most owned players for sure, and he actually plays really well with that stack. So if we can get him, I would like that.
Okay.
Oh no, we didn't grab that guy. Okay. I'm just looking at the other position you have in there. Oh, you know what? There's also this guy that you like very much, who goes with some things that we did. It's always weird trying to talk code on these things.
Yeah.
So do you rather take the guy I'm talking about first?
I think actually, shoot. I think,
find something else?
well, I think we both clicked on the same guy.
We're up right now, eh?
Yeah. So let's do Pierce.
Yeah, just take Pierce.
And then I think,
So he plays with the Vegas week 17 correlation.
right. And if we want, we can grab the other guy.
Well, the guy I liked, because the guy you like is gone. Chig just got taken.
Yeah. No, I added in.
I see what you're saying.
So we can double tap on that, which I think probably is going to make a lot of sense for our particular build.
So this is a discussion to have. Personally, I would go, since they're on the same team and we already have a receiver from that team, I would go with the tight end. Unless I know for sure I'm getting the quarterback.
Yeah, well, we're not getting the quarterback. We know that.
No, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I'd rather have the tight end, personally.
Okay. Well, who do we want to take here then?
Your guy, JJ.
Oh, shit.
I got it.
Okay, good.
So I want to talk about that because that's something I want to make sure my brain's working right when I'm looking at it that way. So my reasoning there is if I know I'm coming back to get Carr, or if I have Carr, I'm way more willing to double tap on the receivers in that offense. But if I don't have the quarterback, and it might not even make a difference, this might just be in my own little head, I prefer going with the tight end just because I don't feel like they're stealing from each other as much.
Right. I was looking at Pierce and Josh Downs as being the pair.
Oh, okay. I didn't see that at all on there.
Okay. Yeah, he was the guy I added in. So I was thinking.
But same reasoning, kind of the same reasoning, right? Like, and
yeah, what I was looking to do was take Josh Downs, and I had another tight end lined up that I thought we might be able to get. Well, he probably won't come back, but
okay. So
we're all right either way.
Yeah, no, because I just did a draft where I ended it with Marvin Jones and Ryan. Who's the other Detroit receiver? There's Marvin Jones and Ryan something. No, I think it's Ryan. It's gonna bug me now. If you're listening, drop it in the chat.
Marvin Jones is with Detroit, right?
Yeah. So, who's the other, the fourth receiver, fifth receiver, whatever on Detroit? Renfro? No, not Renfro.
No, it's.
I'm gonna go look it up.
It's the guy who used to be with. I'm blanking on the name, but yeah,
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Yes.
Anyway, Josh Reynolds.
Yes.
So with my last two picks in the draft, I grabbed Marvin Jones and then Josh Reynolds because I figure, like, especially with JW out, I figure one of them should be hitting, every once in a while.
Yep.
I don't mind doing that because the draft capital invested is not very high. So I don't know. I think it's an interesting strategy talk. Like when you're stacking with and without a quarterback.
Yep, for sure. All right. Infamous Jay took Josh Downs. Damn you. I knew he was going to go before we got back to him.
Yeah. So we are in the, what is that? The 14th round. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So 14th round. Dan and I started in the 2 spot. We've got 2 quarterbacks. Trevor Lawrence, Dak Prescott. We've got CMC, Tony Pollard, Josh Jacobs, and Antonio Gibson. Terry McLaurin, Tyler Lockett, Michael Thomas, Jacoby Myers, Alec Pierce. And then our 2 tight ends so far are TJ Hawk and Juwan Johnson in New Orleans. So famous Jay's quarterback's going to be feeding a couple of our players.
Yes, indeed.
So because this is such a big tournament, Dan, if you're doing these by yourself, whether it's a slow or whatever, you get crazy every once in a while just to mix it up, just because it is such a big field? Or do you just kind of still stick to your usual like principles, like the usual guidelines or, ways that you would normally draft?
Yeah, I'm not too worried about somebody duplicating my exact team or anything like that. So I'm more, I'm looking to just, stick to the fundamentals, build good teams, that have good team construction, because that's the best way to, advance as many teams as possible. And, it's all going to come down to things being weird at the end. Okay, we're up. I don't mind getting the top receiver that we have on our player.
Yeah, might as well.
Because he'll stack well with good old Juwan Johnson.
I feel like you might be upset if the other guy goes, but
yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
He's been mentioned so much in the last 48 hours. It's unbelievable.
All right, I'm throwing a couple other guys in the queue.
Yeah, definitely a good.
All right, who do you like out of those three?
First guy for sure.
All right.
Yeah,
we stand for Marvin Mims any day and every day. So
yeah.
That's the way it goes.
He's definitely a hot topic. We were joking in the DMs that Austin Martin came on the show on Wednesday night and just went on about it. And now you're seeing trades. You've seen him go early. It's hard to get in your rookie drafts.
Yep.
But I mean, we have already 6 receivers. So for me, the wide receiver 7, I love having that upside.
Yep. Yeah, and we haven't had to really worry too much about running back because we nailed it so hard so early. And all 4 of our running backs have different bye weeks. We have week 9, week 7, week 13, week 14. So we're in good shape there.
You could, if like I would not have any issues at all just going in with these 4 running backs, to be honest, in a tournament like this.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of week 11 buys.
Receivers
especially. We have 3 receivers on bye week 11 and a tight end.
And even like, I don't know if I want to add another week 13 guy in there, because the week 13, week 14, we've got some stacks with those 2 weeks, which are pretty crucial weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I don't like is we were never really able to add anybody to our Trevor Lawrence, and there's really not much to add at this point.
Would you? Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. We totally forgot about it. But who they playing? Yeah, it can always go the other way, right? I want to say, no, not Tennessee, Houston. Wow, I'm blanking. Carolina. There's a lot of Carolina guys late, no?
Yeah.
There's one right there. So I threw a couple names in there anyways. I don't know what you think about it, or if you just want to leave that position alone. And we can even, I just threw another guy in there if we really want to do that later, if we want to add to that. But we could leave it as is. I'm fine with that.
I'm throwing a guy in for the last round.
Yeah, I saw that. That's a good call.
And let's see. Oh, actually, I just threw in another player that would be even better.
Oh yeah, I had him in there. I think we double tapped him.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had him in there already.
Okay. Wow.
Because he's coming up soon. Do you know what I mean? Whereas the other guys are later. So what are we at? Which round are we on?
We're on round 16, so we're going to have a double tap coming up here and then one
And then
final
one more.
pick.
Okay.
Yep.
So, oh, he got taken anyways. Hurst got taken anyways.
Oh, well.
No big deal.
It was a fun dream while it lasted.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, at this point, you just kind of put guys on your queue and then see who's left by the time it gets to your guy, because it's not as much following ADP anymore.
Yeah, at this point, just grab whoever. I like the guy who's he just went.
Yeah,
he's number one in our queue.
Yeah.
Because I really think
Bounce back.
we need to add to that position. Here, I just put another one on there that might be of interest, given that we have Mims, Tim Patrick. Any interest there?
Yeah, I mean, they could be the, one or the other type of stack.
Right.
I don't hate that.
Let's do that. All right. And then I don't mind grabbing a running back unless there's another, but if we can find another good wide receiver, I think we need wide receiver worse.
Do you want to go with buddy we have in the queue at RB?
I was thinking we might want to go wide receiver instead of RB.
Who are you looking at?
Same
team?
What's that?
Same team? What about the first receiver? I don't even know who they're playing. I just threw him in there. Did we grab him?
Yeah. Let's take him.
You like that?
Yeah.
I feel like him going to play with Rodgers, they brought him into New York. He's got a couple of rings,
Yep.
Maybe he didn't necessarily do what we wanted in that offense, but he might in this one. You never know. He's got speed.
Yep, exactly.
Mecole Hardman.
And I think, let's see.
This is the fun part where you can just scroll on forever and just find guys.
True enough.
So are you wanting another RB? Is that what's the search is on?
I was more looking at a different position.
Because we don't really have any.
Here, but put whoever you like into the queue.
Yeah.
Because I don't mind the person who's number one in our queue.
Where is he in relative to ICM? I found
He just
Yeah.
won anyway.
Yeah, might as well. He's been in our queue for a while, anyways. So we can take. It's not like we have a guy. What's Philly? They're Arizona, right? Week 17. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, we don't really have a correlation with that, but
No.
it's a player I like in a situation I like, which is about what you can ask out of this round.
Yeah, you're basically just. I mean, there's still some interesting names down here, but.
Here, actually, I found.
You found the guy, Dan, the $3 million man.
I found the guy.
The $3 million man. Let's see it.
I put him in the top of the queue.
Oh yeah, that's actually perfect.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I'm not used to the position, how the positions are differentiated on the just because I find it's like small, that little square, so I miss guys. You know what I mean? Like when I'm scrolling, whereas I find on other platforms it's more obvious what position I'm looking at. So if you're listening, Underdog, in the available player list, I don't know if you want to make that whole line, whatever color the receiver is. I just find that little square is just not. It's not doing it for me. Maybe I'm just old. I can't see shit. That's probably why.
I think you're just old.
Yeah, that's most likely why it is. That's why
I always just click on the whatever position I'm looking for.
Oh,
just
do
click
you?
on that button at the top and just limit it down to those guys.
Yeah, I'll do that at the end when I got like one position that I'm. So we're in the last round now. These are 18 rounds. We've got 2 tight ends, 1 million receivers, 4 running backs, and 2 quarterbacks with 1 pick left. Drop a comment right now. Which position do you think we're going? Famous Jay, tell us. Which position do you think we're going?
All right. We agreed on the guy at the top of the queue?
Yeah. Smash it. Jelani Woods.
Welcome to the team.
Part of the Twin Towers out there in Indy.
Yeah, it does make our roster just a little bit sketch in week 11.
Oh yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, well,
but I think it's all right because we've still got. We don't lose anybody at quarterback or running back.
Yeah, it's only those
wide receiver.
positions.
We've still got McLaurin, Lockett, Jacoby Myers.
We're good.
Marvin Mims and Tim Patrick.
Russell Wilson's gonna have a 6 touchdown game that week. What are you talking about?
That's the goal.
All right, so let's go in order of the draft board. Dan, since you're controlling it, you read it off because I'm using your board to follow. So read off our roster starting in the first round. So we pick from the 2 spot.
Yep. Okay. So at the 2 spot, we took Christian McCaffrey, and then coming around the 2-3 turn, we took Tony Pollard and Josh Jacobs. And then at the 4-5 turn, we took TJ Hawkinson and Terry McLaurin for our first wide receiver. At the 6-7 turn, we took Tyler Lockett, Trevor Lawrence. 8-9 turn, and Trevor Lawrence basically because of the value there. 8-9 turn, Michael Thomas, Dak Prescott. 10-11 turn, Jacoby Myers, Antonio Gibson. 12-13 turn, we had Alec Pierce and Juwan Johnson. 14-15 turn, Rashid Shaheed and Marvin Mims. 16-17 turn, Tim Patrick, Mecole Hardman, and the final pick, Jelani Woods.
Deep Woods, I like to call him.
Deep Woods, especially when you take him that late in the draft.
Exactly. So
go through our correlations, if you would, JD.
Yeah, so we've got Jacksonville. We don't have. Who did we say they were playing first or week 17? Jacksonville. For some reason, I keep forgetting that one. Wow.
Week 17, Jacksonville, I think was
Carolina. So we did.
Carolina,
We did.
Yep.
Did we get any Carolina guys? I don't think we did.
I don't think we.
Yeah, we kept lining them up, but we kept getting sniped on them because it's late, right? Everybody's trying to correlate the Jacksonville guys. So we didn't with Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence was the one guy we took, like Dan said, because of value. Dak Prescott with Dallas, we have Tony Pollard. And then if I'm looking here, the correlation with Dallas is definitely Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
We do not have any Detroit players.
Yep, we did try for a couple of them and also got shut out.
Got sniped on those. San Fran, though, our first pick was CMC. They play Washington. We've got Antonio Gibson, who we like a lot. We've been hammering off, and Terry McLaurin at receiver. So that's the San Fran, Washington, and then Vegas and Indy play week 17. Now, we did get a few of those. We did grab Jacobs early as our 3rd running back off the board. We went Jacoby Myers as our 4th receiver, and then we came back with Alec Pierce, which showed some nice flashes last year. They really look like they want to use him in Indy. They grabbed him because of his athleticism. Now they bring in AR, and you got to hope that these guys click and he can get you some nice weeks. We have Jelani Woods as our tight end 3, also part of that stack. And then we have the Denver Broncos. We double tapped with Marvin Mims and Tim Patrick. I don't think we have any Chargers, right? No, we don't.
Nope. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers all our correlations.
Pretty much covers all of them. So it just shows you, like, you don't need to your whole team doesn't have to be in the same, week 17 game. You can keep drafting like you normally do, and whenever you can, or whenever there's guys in your queue that correlate, maybe you gravitate to those picks. That way you're not reaching, you're not weakening your team in other ways just by trying to get that week 17. We talked about it today just because I'm still trying to learn them, to be honest, as you guys can see through this stream. But as you use them, whether you printed them out or you've got them, tattooed on your arm or whatever it is you do, it'll be a lot easier to kind of do it right off the cuff. But I mean, Dan, I kind of like the build that we have. I like doing these thin at RB, especially when you smash early with them. Don't have to put too much invested at quarterback. We got two pretty legit guys that are both QB1s any week. And then we've got a ton of receivers, and including, some pretty solid ones at the top there with McLaurin and Lockett. And then TJ Hawk will carry our tight ends. And whenever we need it, Juwan Johnson and Jelani Woods will pitch in there. Right, exactly. And I think we forgot to mention for New Orleans, we had Michael Thomas to go with Juwan Johnson. That's correct. Rashid Shaheed. So that gives us a 3-person stack there. That's correct. And then it's funny. Sorry, go ahead, Dan. Oh, I was just going to say we should go through Famous J's build real quick, too. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and read it through. All right, so Famous J at quarterback, Deshaun Watson, Derek Carr. So he has our quarterback that goes with all of our other players, but that's all right. He's got a nice stack going with Deshaun Watson. Then at running back, he's got Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, James Conner, who I love at ADP. Yeah, I think he's a huge smash. Kendre Miller, Tank Bigsby, Zeke Elliott. I think those were all nice values in there. At wide receiver, he has Devontae Adams, Mari Cooper stacking up with Watson, Gabe Davis, Juju, Josh Downs stacking up with Taylor, Paris Campbell, Josh Palmer, and Josh Reynolds. And then at tight end, he's got Kyle Pitts, and then David Njoku stacking up again with Deshaun Watson. Very solid. I think Famous J did a really good job of finding the values in the draft, which is sometimes hard to do when you're sitting at the end. It's like maybe sometimes a guy will drop to you and you can go ahead and take him, but then you're basically looking 24 picks ahead. That you're going to lose a lot of guys. So just got to take whoever you like best out of the next roughly 24 to 30 players. I mean, just the fact then that he's got Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, and James Conner as his top 3 running backs, and he got them in the 1st, the 4th, and the 7th. That's pretty solid value there with those running backs, and a pretty solid top 3 when you compare it to Dan and I, who went 3-3-3, or running back right off the bat. So different ways to build. Famous J, we appreciate you hanging with us on this fine Friday afternoon. Dan, anything else before we close this thing out? No, nothing else. Famous J says I couldn't correlate with all those values dropping too. Totally agree. And I think he did the right thing by taking the values rather than trying to push the correlations too far. And I think that's kind of maybe the tip of the day here is don't get too hung up on the week 17 correlations, especially when there's value falling. Make sure you always be valuing, I guess we could say, Dan. There you go. All right. On that, have yourselves an awesome weekend. Keep drafting. We'll check you all later.
Go district, the Pope listens. Dynasty, our religion, for the blokes missing. On all of these trades, on all of these plays, on all of these grades. By the end of the day, y'all getting played. So, what you gonna do next? Try to fill up that flex? Send the homie a text. That trash offer's the best. You try to make it complex, then they text you back. Now all of a sudden, they don't make any sense. Broaden your horizons, boy. Dynasty's not for the Simons, boy. These trades not for consignment, boy. Respect your opponent, y'all some piranhas, boy. This my advice, from me to you. Open up your cute little podcast queue. Search up GOAT District, my dude. Pop it in your ear, man, y'all know what to do. It's the... And I always be trading. And I always be trading. And I'll always be trading. Y'all try to betray them, but first you gotta bait them. Bait them, bait them. Fish, fish, fish.
Dan, I'm real upset. I just realized I didn't play the BALLiN anthem.
Yeah.
One of the best
That's
ones.
all right. Yeah,
we'll
that's
have
all
to
right.
rock it next time.